Hey there and welcome back to my channel. So today I finally have the part 3 of my Canada Day sale purchases that I'd made. This is from the third company. This is the one that I'd mentioned previously in my part 2, I think, that it was more of like a Canada Day meets 4th of July sale, because I actually ordered from FRAGRANCENET and I'd never personally ordered from them before. And it took over 2 weeks to get to me, which was pretty stressful, and I will actually get to another issue that there was with my order, so that was disappointing as well, but I don't know when that issue is going to be solved on their end, so I wanted to just film this video and get the fragrances that actually are correct kind of reviewed. They're all first impressions, you guys know the deal, and talk to you about them. And yeah, I will a little bit later kind of discuss what the issue was, but yeah, we will get into it. If you haven't subscribed already, do so you will be notified every time I put out a new video. And let's get into the first impressions. So these were all fragrances that were either completely on my mind for a really long time because of YouTube or other reviewers, or just because of myself, and I was gonna make the order for the final fragrance. I'm gonna leave the best for last. This is the one that I originally wanted to make this order for specifically, and I found it on FragranceNet, and then the rest were just kind of ones I looped in. And some of them now I know are starting to be available on the websites that I more regularly shop from. So as always, you can check out links in the description box. Let's get into it. The first one is actually the sample they sent me, which when I checked online, it seems they send these to a lot of people. So it's called Exceptional Because You Are. And yeah, they sent this little sample. I quickly tried it on my arm. Something about it is reminding me of Calvin Klein Euphoria Blossom, the purpley one, and I really didn't like Euphoria and Euphoria Blossom. I'm not exactly sure because I haven't had those in a while and I just had minis, but basically this just lists floral notes, and when I looked at the Fragrantica page, it said that for some people it reminded them of lavender, which I don't really get. Some people got iris, which I can get a little bit, and other people said it was Ralph Romance meets Kenzo Flower, and I definitely get Ralph Romance. It's kind of like Calvin Klein Euphoria meets Ralph Romance. I don't get any Kenzo Flower because I adore Kenzo Flower and it's not in this. So anyways, that's the sample. Now we will get to the full size fragrances. And the first one has been so talked about, and I will say the person who actually got me first interested or introduced it to me was Amanda Loves Perfume here on YouTube, and she described it. I liked it, but I was like, okay, well, it doesn't seem 100% my thing. Forgot about it. And I don't know for what reason this just hit a nerve, like a good nerve, with so many YouTube reviewers, and everyone seemed to get it and really like it. And that was Amethyst by Lalique. I have never owned any Lalique fragrances. This is my first one. And honestly, this was one I just added last minute to my cart, kind of spontaneously, because I saw it there and I thought I might as well. At the time, they hadn't brought Lalique Amethyst to our more Canadian websites, but now I see that it's on there. I'm unsure about this, you guys, because a lot of people mentioned that it's like obviously a berry type fragrance, and that it has a greenness or green opening, and both of those things aren't inherently things that I really like. But this has nutmeg, blackberry, currant, rose spiced with pepper, lily, ylang ylang, bourbon, vanilla, and sensual musk. And yeah, we will see. This is the one I'm most worried about, I think, but there's been a lot of hype around this, so it can really go either way. We will see, but off the top of my head, it was kind of more of a risky buy for me, not in terms of price, just in terms of what I would think about it. I'm sure everyone's seen the bottle, but it's a purple bottle with some vines and what looks like, I think, raspberries or blackberries, kind of like etched in. So let's try it together. Okay. I will actually spray on my skin as well. I definitely get blackberry and currant. I see what they meant by that green note. I definitely see it. And I do get that as well. I like it though. I was so worried. I was really, really worried that it was going to be like a Britney Spears fantasy situation. And if you guys have been watching my videos, I really didn't like any of the fantasies. But this isn't like that. I've heard also it's similar to Meliora by Parfum de Marly, but I don't own that, so I can't really speak to that. It's definitely got a green opening or a green note to it, kind of as if you're also smelling the vines and the leaves around the berries. I definitely get blackberry and currant, that's for sure. I can see how it would get musky. It's not super musky right now. And slightly floral, but not that floral. I do like it. It's interesting. I don't know how long it'll last, so I'll definitely have to play with it a little longer, but I was so worried that this was just gonna be like a sweet, generic berry fragrance that was too close to fantasy, and that the greenness would turn me off, but it doesn't. Based on first impressions, I'm pleased. I'm very, very pleased. So, thank goodness, and that's Amethyst by Lalique. Once again. So then the second one is one that I've just kind of, no one in particular made me interested in this. I remember reading an article ages ago about like fragrances from the 70s and 80s, and this was on it, that are still in production, and it was Tea Rose by the Perfumer's Workshop. And this has bergamot, rose, lily, tuberose, sandalwood, amber, cedar, and bourbon vanilla, I think. Yeah, so, oh, Brazilian rosewood, sorry, not bourbon vanilla, Brazilian rosewood. And this came out in 1977, and I got a huge bottle here. This is the 120 ml. This is ginormous, so I really hope I like this. This is another one I was worried about. It came out in 1977, so it might be a little dated. It's still been in production. I think pretty close to original formula, if not the original formula. But it's just always kind of stayed in my mind about something I'm interested in trying. And again, I hadn't really seen it on Canadian websites. So as I was already making this order on FRAGRANCENET, I thought I'd pick it up. And it was pretty inexpensive actually. So let's see, I'll spray it on this box. Wow. This is, and I can also spray it here, a very, very authentic, realistic rose scent. Very, very rosy, almost as if this is probably my most realistic rose scent ever. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know if it's that amber or cedar, I guess, or rosewood. I'm not really, you get like a little bit of like a rosy woodiness, but it's so realistic. And I do smell, like, it's not that it's dated, but it does smell a little bit more vintage. I can't see a modern rose fragrance smelling this way, but it's not dated in a bad way where I feel like it's too much. You definitely have to like rose. I mean, this is extremely rose, like a realistic rose bouquet that you just picked up. You smell a little bit of the leaves and the stems, and even kind of like, if they're wild roses, like the woods around it, maybe because of that rosewood. Wow, I'm so pleased with this just because of how unique it is. It's not a fragrance I see myself wearing constantly all the time by any means, but it's just, for having had so many and owned so many rose fragrances, this is definitely unique. It is a really nice vintage tea rose. So again, pretty happy with that. I don't see myself wearing it every day, but I'm really happy that I don't hate it and that it isn't like a first, you know, like a turn off right from the start. So that is tea rose. And the third fragrance, or what would have been the third fragrance had I received my original order, was going to be Jil Sander's Sun. So actually, I heard about Jil Sander just as a brand in general a while ago from Maria Meliora here on YouTube. She did a video on cheapies that you've never heard of or something like that, and she talked about Jil Sander as a brand as a whole, but I think she specifically mentioned the Simply, the Eau de Parfum Poudrée, and Sun. And I saw both of these on FragranceNet and I hadn't seen them anywhere before, so I got so excited and I picked them both up. And Sun in particular, because it was more interesting of the two and the one I was more unsure about, I was really, really looking forward to receiving. And unfortunately, they sent me Sun Men in this kind of set with the shampoo and the fragrance. And I had ordered the women's fragrance, obviously. So I haven't opened this up. I did email them, and I don't know if this is just a fluke and all orders with FragranceNet are usually completely fine. This is my first order with them, so I thought I'd be transparent with you guys, but it's never happened to me before with any other company. So I've let them know. I just don't know when I'm gonna hear back or when that order is gonna be fixed. I do hope to actually receive Jil Sander's Sun, the one I paid for, and not this one. So I won't talk about this. And if I do end up getting Jil Sander's Sun for women, then I will come back in one of my future videos and kind of update you guys on how I feel about that fragrance. In the meantime, they did send the correct order of Simply by Jil Sander, and that's the Eau de Parfum Poudrée. So this is obviously a powdery fragrance, and this has freesia, solar notes, mandarin, rice powder, cashmerean, musk, heliotrope, and tonka bean. And this seemed completely up my alley. It seemed completely like something I would love. And when she spoke about it, even just looking at the bottle, I was like, I really want to find this. And thank goodness I did find it. As I don't know if you can see because I haven't sprayed it yet. The water is even, or the juice rather, is not clear. It seems powdery. It's opaque. It's like a blush pink. So I'm so excited. I will spray it on the box, but I am just going to spray it on my skin as well. Especially with powdery fragrances, I find they come alive. Wow, already I love it. They really come alive on skin. So, oh my goodness, I love it. Straight off the bat, I adore it. Very powdery. Definitely get heliotrope. It's a beautiful heliotrope in this. I don't think it listed iris, but it might just be that powderiness. The rice powder in this, stunning, very makeup-y. I don't get much mandarin. I do get solar notes. Fragrances that have solar notes have like a quality to them, and this definitely has that. I love it. I can see already it's sitting pretty close to the skin, but you can smell it. It's not like a body splash sitting close to the skin, but this isn't one I imagine, and I don't know, again, first impressions, that it's going to be projecting crazy amounts. But right off the bat, first impressions, I love this. This is completely up my alley, just like I knew it would be, and it even has pink on the top here. Love it. And yeah, I really do hope I get the Sun by Jil Sander because it's a brand that I've been really looking forward to actually trying, so I do hope that I get the women's version so I can try it out and review it for you guys. So fingers crossed, keep your fingers crossed for me. And then finally, we will get to the fragrance that I've been most looking forward to. I am so excited. This has been years of searching to find it, and I kind of had just resolved in thinking that I wouldn't actually get to find this fragrance, and by chance I did, and I'm so, so happy that I did. So again, for those of you who've watched me, it'll be no surprise that it is a powdery fragrance. It's a violet-based fragrance. It's by Guerlain, and it's one of the Insolence. This is the Eau Glacée. And this has been discontinued for some time. I cannot believe I found it. I'm so, so excited. I hope, but I don't think I'll be able to find the other versions and the other flankers because they're just so, so hard to find. Like my Insolence, I don't think I'll be able to find that ever, but I didn't think I'd ever be able to find this, so I'm so happy. And here's what it looks like. This is the original packaging. I have Insolence, Eau de Parfum, and Eau de Toilette, and I own them in the newer packaging in the B bottles, but this is what they used to look like in their original packaging, and I kind of wish they kept it because I just think it's cool, but I think a lot of things we just like in the original packaging. The bee bottles are nice too. So the thing is that it really just lists a lot of the same notes that the other Insolence fragrances had: red berries, iris, and violet. The only main difference that's described in this is that the Eau Glacée is a more cold, like frozen, icy version of that. So basically it's those notes with icy accents. So I haven't sprayed it yet. I will spray it just directly on my skin. And we will experience it together. Oh my God, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's definitely got that Insolence Eau de Toilette, but immediately I get what they meant by icy accents. I think that's what they called it. Yeah, icy accents, or that it's colder. It does smell as if you kind of froze. You left like your eau de parfum in the wintry air and it kind of froze. So it's lighter. It's maybe a touch more citrusy. And the violet's a little more subdued and not as candied as the eau de toilette or even the eau de parfum. It also, for now, is sitting a little closer to the skin. It's not projecting. It's not as strong. It doesn't have like a wall of violets, as some people like to describe Insolence as being. This is a lot more of a softer violet fragrance. There's definitely still that iris and red berries. The original DNA is there, but this kind of seems like a true flanker in that it's got that DNA and it's just shifted a little bit. I love it. I absolutely love it. I kind of knew I would. I feel like I would love every single version that they make of Insolence, and yeah, like a dream of mine would be to own all of them, which I don't think is possible because so many are discontinued, but I'm so happy to have this as part of my collection, and this is an incredible fragrance. You definitely have to like Insolence though. If you are kind of iffy or you just like it, just get one and that should be enough. But if you're a huge violet lover or an Insolence lover like me, then you'll be able to appreciate the different versions and flankers. So love that. And if I had to put them in order, I would say, obviously disregarding Jil Sander since I can't, I would put this in first place just because I still am in shock that I even found it. I will definitely be wearing this. I will try to ration wearing this because I might never be able to find it again, but totally love that. And it's totally up my alley. A close second though would be the Simply by Jil Sander. This, oh, it's so stunning. It's powdery, it's warm, it's so close to the skin, and I love that. It's totally up my alley. Definitely, probably not for everyone, but very much love. Third place, and this is interesting because I figured it would be in last place, is actually Amethyst by Lalique. This, even now on my skin, I really do like this. I feel like I want to try it out, wear it longer throughout the day, make it kind of, give it a good test run, honestly, and I'll be back for second impressions, but I'm so pleased with this because I was not sure at all, especially because of the reviews. It just didn't seem like it was going to be one that I'd love. And in last place, I don't hate it, but I will put it in last place, Tea Rose, just because it's a little bit more dated. It is such a realistic rose scent. I love it. I'm so happy to own it, and I'm so happy to finally have it as part of my collection. But if I had to put them in order, then I would put this in last place. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to put which one of these fragrances most interests you in the comments below. Keep your fingers crossed for me that I will get Jil Sander's son sometime soon, and I will see you next time. Bye!